systems nominal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Signal array locked. Packet sync confirmed. Welcome all. You're connected to the Colo Top Deep Space Signal Relay.
Well, a week sure goes quickly. I barely feel like my feet have touched the ground. I hope you're doing okay. It's Friday once again. I saw Emo's in the chat. I hope you're doing all right, mate. And Crazy Rabbit, nice to see you too. How you doing? Just chilling on the sofa. Two daughters playing Lego Ninjago on the Switch, says Emo. I don't know what Ninjago is. That's perhaps a bit out of my remit. But there we go. You'll probably see in the chat that you've been awarded some points. Now, this is something that I messed with a couple of months ago, but I don't know if it's still working or not, so we can have a play with that in a minute. Let me put up the overlay. Where are we? So you got a list of redeems up in the corner here. If you type in ! points, you'll see how many points you got. And then if these are working, then some crazy stuff will happen on the stream. I haven't had a chance to test them for a little while though, so they might not be working. Well, we'll have a play. Excuse me. So yeah, been a busy week. Not really had much of a chance to do anything music related until now. So thought I'd have a play. What I want to do, if I can this week, is dig into some of the timing MIDI clock synchronization stuff. Have a look at some sound design, because I've got a couple of patches that I've been using for live improvisation on the circuit, but I'd like to add a few more. And the kit that I was using on the TR-8S, the drum kit, that is one that I just have evolved as time's gone on. So I've had like 909 hats, 808 hats, changed those up, changed some toms, put some FM perk kind of stuff on there. But what I keep doing is evolving the same kit, and I don't actually have like one that I can switch to another one. So probably what I'll do is save the current one, and we'll make a few new ones maybe. So that's the kind of story. That's what we got here. Okay, so you've got points, as you say. Okay, oh, chat's going crazy. This is cool. Nice to see. Somebody thought it was spam. Oh, yeah, okay. Wabbit thought the points were spam, probably. And basically, I'll give you an example. If it works, we'll have to check. So if I do ! Cat, is it going to work? It works. Yay. Okay, cool. So, yeah, have a play with those. It's just a bit of fun, really. I had a way of sort of doing some crazy animations and things like that you could redeem with points. Dog doesn't work. There's not a dog one, but you've got a few sort of up in the corner here that you can try. So maybe those will work. What have you guys been up to? Give me a shout in the chat. Let me know what you've been up to. First thing that I was going to look at was timings and MIDI synchronization and clock. And clock division. So that's an engine thrust. You've just put me off course, guys. We might crash into Jupiter before we end the stream. You never know. Clock synchronization and timings. Let me switch over and we'll have a look at the gear. Where are we? You'll probably find that these, I can't point at them because I'm pointing off camera. Yeah, these redeems don't work while we're on a different screen, but we'll come back to those anyway. You can have a play. Yeah, what I suppose the basis of what I was looking at with the timing on MIDI gear was the fact that with the TR-8S, if you click on these two here, you can access the trigger out timings. And currently I've got the trigger out of the TR-8S going to the trigger in on the edge, which by default does nothing really. It just means that every step of the sequence, if the TR-8S is mastered to the edge, every step just allows the edge to play its normal notes on its sequence. However, if you switch off some of those steps, you switch off the edge's ability to make a noise on that step. So that allows you to do some sort of timing alterations. So for example, and this is a bit difficult, I might actually have to mess with this camera here in order to get these lights more visible, but I'll try and explain. So if I run the sequence on here, every step that's running on here is playing. If I turn off some of the steps on the 8S, I've obviously turned off the ability for the edge to play. So in that way you can directly affect the sequence that's playing on the 8S, which could be kind of a fun sort of way of doing alterations in the pattern on here if you had variations chained on here. So for example, if I'd got variations A, B and C all chaining, you can see I'm breaking up the sequence of what's playing on the edge. So that's kind of a good way of creating more randomization and more variation on your edge patterns if you want to do something like that. And I'm sure the Crave does it as well, because the Crave's got like a trigger input. So there we go. Okay, Ekmar's in the chat as well. Nice to see you, Ekmar. Your points aren't going to work while I'm on this particular camera. Let me switch back. And I'll tell you what, gangster activity at the helm, that ain't going to work. Where are we? It's only what you can see up here. But nice try. If you've got any ideas for fun sort of activities that we can do on here, then I'm all ears. Just let me know what's going on. The gas one, I think, is quite clever idea. I copied a lot of this kind of stuff from another streamer, or not copied, but developed a lot of the stuff using techniques that I've seen from another streamer called Nutty, and he does like variety stuff, but he's really good at using StreamerBot, OBS Studio and all that kind of stuff, and making up sort of really clever sort of animations and things. He's got like RGB lights in his room that are controllable. He's got like a TV screen which has got running OBS on it, the broadcast software, and he changes videos and stuff in the background depending on what other people are putting in the chat. So it's really cool. Wabbit. Thank you for this tip. I have the Crave, did not know what to do with the trigger of the TR-8S. You're welcome. Yeah, hopefully dig into it, see what else you can get done with it. I've barely scratched the surface of things like the patch bay on the edge. In fact, I did actually kind of pull out another couple of cables and see what I could do with it, but I think it needs a little bit more time than I had to spare at that point. Emo says, my little Soundcraft mixer has developed a distortion whining noise at 1K and a little above. It comes and goes, so I think I need to drop it out of the chain. So some rejig thoughts occurring now. Yeah, it could be. I'm not much of a sound engineer in that sense, so I don't know that I can help, but could it be that you've got some power supply issues or something like that maybe? After you rejig your setup, still sus. Use the wrong power adapter. I've used the wrong power adapter. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Power supply, maybe. Yeah, probably power supply. My mixing desk is actually quite noisy a lot of the time through the headphones, but it tends to be quite clean on the recording, thankfully. So I think the noise on mine is on that circuit. So, yeah. So yeah, the trigger I think is more trigger output is more geared up for things like modular synthesis. So for example, if you were hooking up the TR-8S to a modular setup, you could probably do some clever stuff with that. If I remember correctly, trigger output is like control voltage. So it's the same kind of stuff as you would patch into anything else on there. Right. That's our start for 10. Let me jump over to the display here. And I've got some background music, which I don't want right now, so let me turn that off. Okay, so the circuit, as you possibly know, you guys, is my primary synth. And if I play the patch that's running now, where are we? Oh, it's all quiet. There we go, we've got something coming out of it now. That is one of two patches that I've been using quite a lot on my live performances. I've just noticed my chat is too low in the setup. Let's get that sorted out. That goes there in front of me, so you can read in front of me now. The circuit. I've got two patches that I've been using primarily for live jamming, and this one you can change like the second oscillator, and on this other one, this is like a standard sawtooth, and you've got filter and resonance and all that kind of stuff. So let's go. Yeah, so synth 2, this one here.
Attention. Inert gas buffer full.
Oh dear.
Venting helium.
Oh dear. Oh dear. It's all gone a bit wrong. The two are great for live jamming. And what I want to do is make a couple more.
So that I can flick between them. So...
Why did the robot get married?
Oh, you've done it now.
He couldn't resist her. Heh.
You've done it now. I'm going to have to shut this off if it gets too intrusive, but there we go. So we've got Sawtooth, and I can't remember what the other one is. Let me have a quick look on Synth 1. These were triangle waves. They've got the same kind of controls over each of them, but the two waveform setups are different there. So what I want to do is create a couple more, because the circuit is a wavetable synth, and you've got all these wavetables that you can pick and choose from. So let's do... God, it's ages since I've done this. So I'm going to go to another session. Yeah. And I'm going to upload another synth patch. Upload a patch. Improv Mono Synth was my little patch that I created before. This is the one, and I'm going to pick some different waveforms for this. So if I go with, let's try one of these digital vocal ones. That's pretty shocking. Maybe we put a LFO to change the wavetable position. That was kind of what I was thinking. And if I synchronize that with the MIDI clock. Is the circuit rhythm or tracks, says Wabbit. This is the original circuit. This is neither. It's the closest to the tracks in terms of its functionality. It's got two onboard synths, which are wavetable synths, and it's got 4 drum channels, which you can load samples into. It's also capable of sequencing external gear instead of using the onboard synths if you want to, or as well as, but you can't sort of do any separate sequencing, if you know what I mean. The Trax has got the 2 onboard synths, plus it's got additional sequencing capabilities purely for external gear. So it's like an upgrade to the OG circuit, which is this one here. So yeah, I mean, they're pretty similar in terms of the functionality. I think actually the Trax has got like an external input as well. So whatever external gear you're sequencing, you can bring the audio back into the Trax and then have it all route through and be affected by the delay and reverb and stuff like that. So that's horrible. 2 external ins on the Trax. Yeah, I thought so. So let me put a... I'm going to go to oscillator 2, and I think I want a sine wave, which is synchronized. That one I don't want synchronized. And we're going to link the wavetable modulation LFO2 plus and minus to oscillator 1 wavetable position. That's that. And the same again for that one. And then we slow down. You're trying all the different possible codes that you could use, aren't there? Hadouken! Pizza. Yeah. I need to make a few more, clearly, if this is going to get that much attention. Let's put a bit of delay and reverb on that. That could be quite nice. If we do keys. Ima, where's all this Japanese coming from? I don't know. Tatsumaki Senpokyaku. I don't know what that is. I probably just said something incredibly rude in Japanese. I think I want a different wavetable. Detune that one slightly. So, let's put a sequence in. That kind of rounded sound could be all right. Maybe, just trying to think, maybe I'll take off the key sync and make it just... Let's try one more wavetable. I prefer that one. Probability and sub-probability are so fabulous on the TR-8S. If you don't use them, get them dialed in, says Emo. I will have to. I'm too hands-on. I don't want to leave it to probability on the drums. I want to do that all myself. If I could do some sort of randomization on the actual synthesizers, I think I'd probably go with that. I quite like the fact that what I get on the edge is pretty randomized, because dialing in specific pitches and stuff is really not something I can do on the fly very easily. So I'm quite okay with the fact that I've got another waveform for that one. So I'm going to hit save on that, and I'll do another one on synth 2. So I need to load up that same patch again. And with this one, I wonder if I can change something like the effect on it so that it's not quite a standard monosynth type sound. I'll create a little pattern again first so I can audition the sounds. Change these. Don't know what digital nasty sounds like. I can't remember. Let's try that. Hey PK, nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. Just doing some sounds, making up some sounds for the circuit. Yeah, doing good. And then I'm going to make another kit for the TR8S so that I've got a bit of variation doing the live jams, because I've just been evolving the same kit over and over, and I want to be able to switch from one kit to another. So I'm going to do that in a mo and then have a go at jamming. What about you, PK? What are you up to? So that's okay. I'm going to bump up the density on these. Sounds for circuit 100, yeah. And let's change the envelope for the filter as well, because I don't tend to do that very much. This one might be more closer to a pad than a monosynth. That could work. And I just want to make sure, yeah, that is set to polysynth, so that'll work all right. Sat on the sofa with the dogs and some whiskey. Now that's a Friday evening I can relate to. That sounds good. Okay, that is a bit different to everything else I've got, so we'll go with that. So now that I've got two different patches that I've not done any kind of jamming with, I'm going to have a little play with those so you can listen to me screw stuff up, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to flick over to the jam cam. You probably won't be able to use the codes and stuff for a few minutes because I don't think they work on the live jam camera. But here we go. So let's do that. Give me a shout if volume levels are too low or too high or whatever. We'll go. The camera's gone crazy when I'm not at it. It's on auto adjustment, so it'll take a moment to come back to normality. I've Yeah, there's a few bits that I like about those new sounds, but what I did there was actually jump back to some patterns that I made ages ago, and I just haven't used them. So it seemed like fun to just kind of keep going with them. Come on, camera, get back to color, and let me catch up with chat. What have I missed? What circuit editor do I use? This one that was on screen before, that is the standard Novation components package. There's an online version that you can access through a web page, but this is the one that you can actually download and install on your computer. So I prefer that one. We got some flames, so that's good. We got a banger like that. Love the feel of emergency. Got some dancing. Nice. Okay, cool. Why is my camera misbehaving? Just give me 1 second here. I think it's just underexposed. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. And can't find the bearing edge anywhere, says Wabbit, except for the scalper on reverb. Yeah, from what I gather, Behringer tend to make to order, and if they kind of, it gets like this vicious cycle. If I understand it correctly, there's this vicious cycle where if people aren't placing orders because there isn't stock in there, then the retailers don't get the orders that they can then put through to the factory. So it's a pain in the ass. I think I got pretty lucky, to be fair. The other thing that I've heard is they finished the Spice, which is the latest one of the Moog ripoffs, because they did the Crave, which is like the Mother 32, the Edge, which is like the DFAM, and then the Spice, which is like the Subharmonium. So the one that is currently everybody's wish list, if they've not got it just yet, is the Edge. So they're kind of not bothering to build any of the Spice. That's what I read on. I read it on Reddit, so it could be absolute rubbish, but it seems to make sense. My frame rate seems to be very odd. Hopefully that's coming through okay. No drop frames, so that's okay. But yeah, I gather that there is quite a lot of delay in trying to get hold of the Edge, which is a pain. I got mine from Anderton's, which is definitely a retailer that you can get at in the UK. Don't know about anywhere else. It's not particularly heavy as a box. £160 is a steal compared to what I paid for my DFAM, says PK. Yeah, definitely. I love the idea of supporting a manufacturer who came up with the original idea, but when it's like 3 times the price or whatever, it's like that's really tough to justify. Okay, so yeah, those were the moves on the circuit patches. So if I now jump over to the 8S editor, I was going to try and make another kit for it. Where are we? And Flex 23 was just a stupid name that I gave to a kit and pattern that were just going to be the ones that I used for everything, and I just kind of edited stuff on the fly. Every time I made a new track, I was like, I'll just edit this kit very slightly, and it just stayed up there. And what I want to do actually is kind of give this one a proper name, save it, and then what I figured was if anybody wants a copy of it, I can stick it up on either Buy Me a Coffee or my webpage or something like that. So kit here. So I'm gonna call this one, just for the moment, MR Tech 1, and I'll give the pattern the same name, and we'll send and write that. And then I'll duplicate that and we'll give it a new name. And what I want to do is change out the hats for 909 hats and maybe change some of the percussion. We are the TR-ators. Yeah, traitors. Rather be a traitor than a hater. Yeah, definitely. There's no time for hate. It's all too busy, if you ask me. No point in getting upset about stuff. So this is the bit that I always forget how to do. I want to go to this bit here. So I want to copy from, that's pattern. I want kit. So that one I saved in 128's a bit unconventional. I'll save that one to 127 and give it another name. And I've got to reach across to the actual hardware to do that, I think. God, it's months since I've done this. I'm trying to remember how to do this. 1 second. Okay, that's done it. Yeah, you have to do it, as far as I know, you can only do it on the hardware. And I want to get information. And then if I go here, that should have saved to here. Close. Yeah, that's saved. And now I can rename this kit to. Sorry guys, this is a bit of admin. And if I go to here, yeah, I've got kits 1 and 2 now. Right, so now I can mess about. The reason why I've done that rather than just starting from scratch is that I like the volume levels that I've got set for everything, and I like the effects that I've got set up and all that kind of stuff. So it seemed sensible just to copy them across. Okay, and if I jump back over to here, I want to change my kick to maybe a simple kick. I want 909 closed and open. And then I'll have a mess about with the other bits and pieces in a minute. Let's just check that's working. That sounds significantly like a 909, which is good. And on my mid-tom and my low-tom, I had perk model there, which is all cool. I will keep that. On the mid-tom, I think I want a 909 tom. Cheers, Rabbit. Thanks for stopping in. Nice to see you, and I'll catch up with you soon, mate. Take care. So 909 low tom is somewhere here. Low tom. There we go. That's good. Like that. And what else do we want to change? Yes, the rimshot sound was like a synth. So I'm going to change that to be a 909 rimshot, I think. Rimshot 909. I love using this editor. I just can't stand doing it on on the hardware. It is perfectly capable of doing it if you've not got used to the actual TR8S hardware. It does everything that you can do on here. You can do on the hardware. Right. So let me just have a very quick play with those to make sure they're set up the way I would like them. I think I might alter some of these secondary things here because I've got a ring mod on the low tom. I might change that for something else, maybe saturator. We'll see. Just 2 seconds. Let's have a quick play. Yeah, that kick drum. It's not got anything attached to this dial. So we'll make that instrument effect actually morph. That'll do. Okay, happy with that. As I say, this isn't rocket science. This is just a bit of prep work, really. And as I said, I will put these up on Buy Me a Coffee, and I'll put a notification up. If anybody wants to download copies, they can do so. As I say, it's not groundbreaking stuff, but having these effects set up the way I like them and making sure that these volumes here are good is really helpful. The thing that often people overlook, I think, and I think Fanatec was asking me why his sounds were all kind of muffled. It's possibly because of this sidechain depth, and I think Emo pointed that out as well. If you've got a synth playing in, let's. If this sidechain is too big, you lose half of the expression on the synth because it's all getting muffled. So you can see that makes quite a difference there. But it is really cool for getting that pumping effect if you want it. There we go. Another thing I was going to do on this kit is use a square wave on the waveform. I was going to take... now what was I going to do? Actually, I'll change the rim shot for a square wave, and I will put a square wave LFO on the pitch of it, so that could give us some crazy noise. Synths. Where are we? Synths. It's in here somewhere. Here we go. Let's go square low, and then we want LFO to tune, and there. And I want to make sure the LFO is in the right kind of frequency. Let's try 4 steps to start with. Just trying to come up with something that I can use for a pretty random sound. Yeah. Maradas, hello, nice to see you. Nice for joining. Is that somebody I know from the Black Flag? I think it might be. How you doing? Is that Seiko? It's Kluwe. Hey, nice to see you, Kluwe. Maradas is a fellow gamer. I am absolutely terrible at PlanetSide 2. I don't know if anybody else has played that. It's an awesome free-to-play video game, first-person shooter, but it's like massive multiplayer online at the same time. So imagine about 500 people on one map, all flying aircraft and shooting stuff. But yeah, it's cool. Blindside 2. Yeah, that tends to be what happens to me anyway. I'm roaming around with a crew of like 3 or 4 people, being the lame duck that everybody has to protect, and then I get shot in the back of the head by a sniper because I've just not been situationally aware. So yeah, gaming's never been my strong suit, but I absolutely love that game. And Maradas is one of the crew who leads the platoon, so it's freaking awesome. Okay. That sound wasn't doing quite what I wanted to. I'm going to leave it and come back to it. So, right. I've done enough messing about with the hardware. PK's still on the C64. I imagine there's still some really good games on there. Why the hell not? Yeah, I'm gonna have another jam now, and then I'll probably call it quits because it's been an hour and I've had a lot of fun and it's nice to catch up with you guys. But let me see if I can make some sounds and we'll go from there. So I'll catch you on the flip side of this little jam session. I have to go, otherwise somebody in the other room might get very upset with me. Thank you all for joining. Really enjoyed having a play about. I hope you enjoyed the sounds. Catch up with the VOD afterwards if you missed the beginning. And if you'd be kind enough to like the stream, that would be really cool. Really enjoyed it. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll probably put out a video a bit later on perhaps on Sunday if I can. And I'll try and see you next week. I'm really enjoying streaming. So if I can do another one Friday next week and you're around, that'd be all awesome. Before I go, though, Earthfriend, thank you for popping in. Sleeping Scarlet, awesome to see you. Thanks for popping in too. And all the rest, all the regulars, take care. See you later.